Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Every single day you make dozens of choices about what to eat. But have you ever really stopped to think about what you're actually doing? Today, we're going to go way beyond just taste and dive into the incredible science of what's on your plate and how it literally builds the person you are moment by moment.
Yeah, we all know that phrase, right? Eat to live. But what does that really mean, like on a molecular level? It's a simple question, but the answer is surprisingly complex and, honestly, pretty amazing. Turns out, the food you eat is doing three very distinct, very important jobs inside you right now.
All right, so let's break it down. First, the one we all think of, energy. Food is the fuel that powers everything, from your heartbeat to your brain firing off thoughts. Second, it's the source of your building materials. I mean this literally. You are made of what you eat. And third, and this is one we often forget, food is a huge source of positive emotions. A good meal can shape our mood, lock in memories, and even change how we learn.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with those three big jobs, then we'll break down the main players on the team: carbs, fats, and proteins. And we'll wrap up with the essential helpers, the vitamins, and minerals. Let's get into it.
So to really get how food pulls off these amazing jobs, we need to meet the cast of characters inside our food. Scientists call them nutrients, and they basically come in two main groups.
On one side, you've got the macronutrients. That's your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Think of these as the heavy lifters. Your body needs a lot of them, measured in grams. Then, on the other side, you have the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals. Your body only needs tiny, trace amounts of these. We're talking milligrams, but, and this is key, they are absolutely critical for making sure everything works right.
First up, let's talk about the body's absolute favorite go-to fuel source: carbohydrates. When your body needs a quick hit of energy, this is the first place it looks, because carbs are just the easiest thing for it to break down and use fast.
But, and this is a big but, not all carbs are created equal. You've got your simple sugars, like the stuff in candy. They give you that super fast, intense burst of energy, the classic sugar rush. But then you have complex carbs, like the starches in bread or pasta. These are basically long chains of sugar that your body has to break down slowly, and that means you get a much smoother, steadier release of energy without that big spike and the crash that follows.
And this whole process is like a perfectly choreographed dance inside your body. You eat carbs, your blood sugar goes up. Your pancreas then releases a hormone called insulin, which acts kind of like a traffic cop for all that energy. Job number one, get fuel to the brain. The brain gets priority. Any extra sugar then gets stored in your liver and muscles as something called glycogen. That's like your body's quick access bank account. And if there's still more after that, well, that gets put away into fat tissue for long-term savings. It's an incredibly smart system.
And get this, you can literally see evolution in action when it comes to our diet. This map shows where people are generally able to digest milk as adults. The darker purple areas, like in Europe and parts of Africa, are places where people have been farming dairy cows for thousands of years. In those populations, a genetic mutation that lets adults digest milk became a huge survival advantage. It is a stunning, perfect example of how our diet can literally rewrite our genetic code over generations.
Okay, let's move on to probably the most misunderstood macronutrient of them all, fats. We think of them as just energy storage, but they're also absolutely crucial building materials for your body.
For decades, fat has been the #1 villain in the nutrition world. Fat-free was everywhere, but that reputation, it's not entirely deserved. The truth is, without fats, or as scientists call them, lipids, you simply wouldn't exist. And here is exactly why they are so essential. Take a look. The outer wall of every single one of the trillions of cells in your body, the membrane that literally holds it all together, is made of a double layer of lipids. They are the fundamental building blocks that give our cells their structure, their flexibility. Without them, you would just fall apart.
And the type of fat you eat directly impacts how well your cells actually work. Unsaturated fats, the kind you get from plants and fish, create these really flexible, healthy cell membranes. Here's a cool way to think about it. Cold water fish are packed with these fats, and it's what keeps their cells from freezing solid in the icy ocean. Now, some of these, like omega-3s and omega-6s, your body just can't make on its own. That's why we call them essential fatty acids. You have to get them from your food.
All right, on to our third and final macronutrient, proteins. So if fats are the building materials for the house, proteins are all the complex machines inside that house that do all the work.
See, when you eat a piece of chicken or some beans, your body doesn't use those proteins as is. Instead, your digestive system acts like this amazing sorting facility. It breaks the protein down into its fundamental parts.
20 different kinds of amino acids. The best analogy is Lego bricks. Your cells then take these 20 types of bricks and reassemble them into the thousands of unique, specialized proteins your body needs to do, well, everything.
Now, the trick is getting all 20 types of those Lego bricks. Your body can make most of them, but 9 of them are essential, which again means you have to get them from your food. Animal proteins like meat or eggs usually have the complete set. Plant sources are a little different. A grain like rice might be missing one essential brick, while a legume like beans is missing another. But, and this is why so many traditional cuisines are so brilliant, when you combine them like rice and beans, boom, together they form a complete protein, giving your body every single brick it needs. So, how much do you actually need to supply all these crucial building blocks? Well, a really solid rule of thumb for most adults is right around 1 gram of protein per kilogram of your body weight each day. That gives your body a nice, consistent stream of materials to repair tissues and build all of that amazing internal machinery.
Okay, so we've covered the big 3, but the story isn't quite finished without talking about the micronutrients. These are the vitamins and minerals, the real unsung heroes of nutrition that help all those bigger processes run smoothly. You know, for the longest time, this was a huge puzzle for scientists. They knew about proteins, fats, and carbs, but they noticed that animals fed a pure diet of just those 3 would get sick. Then, back in 1880, a researcher named Nikolai Lunin had a hunch. He wrote that there must be other unknown substances in food essential for life. He was totally right, and we eventually came to know those substances as vitamins. A great way to think about vitamins and minerals is that they're like the spark plugs for your body's engine. You only need a tiny amount, but without them, those critical chemical reactions just can't fire. For instance, without iron, your blood can't carry oxygen, period. Without vitamin A, you literally can't see properly. And without vitamin C, your body can't build connective tissue or fight off infections. They are small, but they are mighty.
All right, so let's put it all together one last time. It's pretty simple when you look at it this way. Carbohydrates are your body's fast fuel. Fats are both the building blocks for your cells and your long-term fuel storage. And proteins? They are the machinery, the complex structures that perform all the countless jobs all over your body.
So you see, every meal is an opportunity. It's a choice about the fuel you're going to use, the structures you're going to build, and the machines you're going to maintain. You are, quite literally, building the future you with every single bite. So the only real question is, what do you want to build next?